Last night at the school judo club, £30 was stolen from the cash box. Our man Bobby was seen coming out of the room where the cash box was kept. He was seen in the changing room stashing money in his anorak. He was searched later and found with exactly £30 on him.
Well, I give up. Who did it?
Not Bobby.
Hi, I'm Andy Luke and welcome to our review of episode 10 of Press Gang Series 1, Money Loving Birdseed. But first, why not comment? No, don't comment. Do that at the end. Show you're genuine. But give us a thumbs up, give us a wee subscribe. You can pick the rest up later. Okay, let's get into it. Detective Adventure returns as a school KD is accused of stealing money he didn't steal. To help, he turns to Linda's press room. His prosecutor, Sarah, and defender, Billy. The A-plot is perhaps as Enid Blyton as Press Gang gets. That is, it's blatantly obvious and doesn't work outside of a children's show audience, although there's a short, sweet gotcha moment. Oh, sorry for the spoiler, it was those guys. We get a beatbox opening to a KD running from a teacher, cut to Spike asking Linda out again, but it's all a dream. We get the first appearance of Penelope Nice, playing Linda's mother. Nice actor, nice a character. She's so different from her daughter, often overwhelmed by her. A well-performed, fun character. The newsroom has been beset by a plague. Sorry, plague is not the collective term for pigeons. You can have a loft of pigeons, a flock or a flight, or a stool of pigeons.
Damn birds.
Colin could have got a net anywhere. That'll reappear a season from now. These pigeons must surely have been a challenge to work with. Sangster's program guide notes a cut scene where a comedy dead pigeon was supplied for Colin to bounce some patter off. The problem with the scene was the pigeon looked too real. It was in fact dead. Billy more than earns his appearance, having created the school's computer database system. A pupil providing institutional facilities for a school is quite unbelievable nowadays. But in the late 1980s, even with computer studies emerging in schools, few staff would have known how to set up an internet-accessible database system. All the same, such a breach of privacy and a school-wide data hack is serious stuff. It's a press complaints commission for you, Mr. Homer. Moffat clues us in on the development of Tiddler's relationship with Spike with her knowledge of his troubled home life. Again, Tiddler has no fear, openly showing her contempt of Linda as she turns down a potential date with Spike, and it transpires the truth is nothing of the sort. Tiddler feeds a same sorrowful plea of a troubled home life to Spike. She too engaged in some Machiavellian matchmaking.
Well played, Clucks.
Linda tells her close circle about Bobby Tweed, who insists he's been framed for stealing £30 and wants a paper to investigate it. He's a knuckle-dragging KD, and Sarah is sure he did it. Billy's intellectual arrogance says he didn't, which gets him assigned to the inquiry too. Principal Winters has let the paper run its investigation, likely as the exam special has won them some favours. Sarah is on the case talking to the sports teacher, Prescott, and several pupils. When Linda and Spike are having a tiff over their possible date, clever set designers have placed a Trivial Pursuits board in the background space between them. Nice callback to their game in interface. Also, was that a Garfield? There's two other Garfields this episode, the poster in Billy's room and cartoonist Jim Davis among the list of the people at the judo club that night. Spike and Linda's argument continues. Of course, Linda can win the argument. Or maybe not. Billy confirms Bobby is a KD.
Well, he's not the type of guy a nice girl would take home to meet Mother, unless Mother was recruiting officer for a major terrorist organisation.
He takes Sarah through the scene of the alleged crime, reconstructed by Kenny, Fraz and Danny, which is a terrible use of manpower given this isn't even new story material. Linda sweeps Spike off his feet.
Hi, Spike. So how are you?
And the pigeons are specifically targeting Colin. We get a little glimpse into Linda's religion. She knows her Bible. Not unusual for a kid in 1980s Britain. Atheist Moffat has fun with it.
That's from Matthew.
Yeah, well, he probably saw it on the same bumper sticker.
Both Linda and Spike have got gig tickets to take the other. We get an impact factoid on Spike and the infamous incident at the school sports day. Linda's knickers on top of a flagpole. Unless he said this to wind her up, either way, Kiss that date goodbye, Thompson. This was another detail I missed first dozen times round, thinking the incident was defined by being never stated. The details revealed surely are a strong propulsion to the they won't in the will they won't. And Spike and Linda's fight becomes flight for every bird in the newsroom. Sarah's investigation continues. Children's stories have a long-standing type whereby characters perform as detectives, teaming up to solve some great mystery or problem. As part of the children's series remit, Moffat goes to that well quite often in series 1, and by and large those make up the weaker stories, though not always. On another level, the extended time given to the scenes with Mr. Prescott and wrongly accused KD do speak to the flaws in school justice, which in the 80s went still relatively unchecked. I can't leave this alone. Prescott looks just like a young Stephen Moffat. Billy's revelation, structurally sound in plot terms, is very Jessica Fletcher. We have to wonder how long he's known each detail and which ones he's kept from Sarah. His motivation for doing so is paper thin. Moffat's answer to the central mystery is cleverly thought out as it had been in past stories, but it doesn't give a sense of feeling. Though to its credit, we can see the beginning of Series 3's gripping plot twists, and more recently the mechanics found in Doctor Who and Sherlock. Sarah's fake phone call is a clever twist, prompting the thieves to turn on one another. Both Spike and Linda missed the gig while claiming they didn't. Tiddler hasn't quite mastered manipulation. Julie is as astute, quizzing Linda over the end credits about her subconscious fascination with Spike. Of course, she could have been preparing the graphic for my feature focus. It's no good. Special feature, Paul Reynolds. Paul Reynolds was born on 6th of February 1970 in Wanstead. His acting role began age 11 as a minor character, Tills, in The Beastmaster. He joined a relatively new Sylvia Young Theatre School, which offered performing arts classes at high fees. Renowned for producing a great many personality actors, it's been called Eton for the pop idol generation. Reynolds allegedly studied dance and ballet. He says, in his teenage years, he appeared in more small roles, Slipstream, Castaway, Terry and June, and in 10 Great Writers of the Modern World as a young Marcel Proust.
À la recherche du temps perdu was originally translated into English by C.K. Scott Moncrief as Remembrance of Things Past, but it could more literally be translated In Search of Lost Time.
His portrayal of Colin Matthews is, I'll say, iconic. The floppy fringe, the thick-winged eyebrows, eyes like saucers, and big red lips with a hint of menace. Even when his role is sitting about in the background, mugging, smiling, looking like a bit of a loon, I find him supremely watchable. Press Gang may be the biggest role of his career, but definitely there's a 1-2 punch in the 1991 Peter Medic classic, Let 'Em Have It. The film concerned itself with the true story of Derek Bentley, played by Christopher Eccleston, a mentally challenged man who was wrongly convicted of murder and sentenced to death by hanging. Reynolds played Christopher Craig, Bentley's delinquent friend and accused shooter, too young to legally receive the death penalty. Reynolds plays a role with a glint in his eye, the same mad abandon brought to Colin Matthews, albeit with a tad more danger. It's a brilliant film. In the 2 years prior, the Bentley case was the subject of an Elvis Costello song and an investigation by M.J. Trow. In 1993, 4 decades after his death, Bentley was granted a pardon, and later the conviction was overturned. The IMDb page for Paul Reynolds leads with an oddly worded biography, but a welcome one, for it strikes a relevant tone. Portraying Colin Matthews, a character who needs no introduction and usually received little on the show, Paul gathered a semi-cult following among fans. With his sarcastic grin and wily eyebrows, Paul Reynolds has made his mark in the world of entertainment. Oh, indeed. Watch the Press Gang behind-the-scenes tape or any interview with Paul Reynolds, and there's a lot he and Colin have in common. Both have a larger-than-life charm to them, a mercurial nature, and both are unreliable narrators. In 1995, he'd appear on Ghostbusters of East Finchley. In this interview on, who's that, Titchmarsh, his Ghostbusters co-star Jan Francis admits that they were mobbed on location by fans who recognised Colin Matthews. And just look at his body language. Jan played Grace Pullen and Paul, played her son Kevin. The setup has Kevin attempt to take down her corrupted boss at the tax office, Thane, a role played by Ray Winston. Ghostbusters is filled with eccentric humour, dream sequences, and unusual set pieces.
You trying to get me to sack?
I'm working undercover for Her Majesty's government.
Yeah, well, can you go and do it somewhere else?
And there are also striking similarities between Kevin Pullen and Colin Matthews. 3 years later, Reynolds would show up in Series 1 of the BBC's Maisie Rain. It's based around Pauline Quirke, a quirky and incompetent police type, as per this formula from mainstream detective shows. Quirke's character is so abrasive it's a wonder the other characters put up with her. Reynolds appears as Quirke's brother, a petty criminal and the sole source of levity on the show. Kevin again, is a mostly minor recurring role, yet carrying the series arc.
I reckon that's about £26 of bacon.
Good, isn't it?
What is it doing in my fridge?
My fridge is full.
I do not want knocked off bacon in my flat. Now move it!
It's not knocked off. It's past its sell-by date, that's all.
It can be argued that the creation of Colin Matthews has typecast Paul Reynolds to some degree, a morally dubious cheeky chappy wheeler-dealer wherever he goes, disruptive, unpredictable, shallow and duplicitous. By the same token, his gleeful energy offers a rich well for this character acting. If the adventures of any one member of the Junior Gazette continues to live on our screens, it's Colin Matthews. One of my favourite incarnations is in Trevor's World of Sport. It's written by Andy Hamilton of Drop the Dead Donkey and starring Dave out of Drop the Dead Donkey, Neil Pearson. Pearson is a nice guy sports agent and Reynolds plays his business partner. He's full Colin as well as a misogynist and conspiracy theorist too.
And she calls me a low-breed diminutive weasel who'd sell his own grandmother and probably dig her up to do it.
Trevor's World of Sport has a sharp, infectious wit, good pacing, use of surreal and fantastical elements. It ran to 1 series on television and 3 more on the radio.
Well, this is just a hello goodbye job.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've got deals to cut, people to humiliate.
From 1997 to 2005, Reynolds could be heard on the BBC Radio hospital soap West Way, playing troublesome small-time crook Fizza.
Hi, Paul Reynolds.
In 2008, he performed at the Edinburgh Fringe and the Oxford Playhouse. God damn, I was in Oxford then. In Matthew Francis and Dean Calandra's adaptation of Carl Hassan's Lucky You. The piece is a parody of militia movements and conspiracy theorists and the overlap between the groups. Reynolds played Bode Gazer, a lottery winner who believes in a government plot to keep white Christian men from winning the lottery, because the other winner is a black woman. Reynolds described Bode as
and he is an evil right-wing psychopath.
However, there's no way Colin Matthews can be everywhere that Paul Reynolds is. For example, he's played a different character in each of his 2 appearances in Holby City, his 4 appearances in The Bill, and his 4 appearances in Casualty. He's popped up with Julius Wahala in Lark Rise to Candleford and on Dexter Fletcher's Eddie the Eagle film. Drama production success Big Finish, named after a Press Gang episode, of course, brought him on board for Doctor Who stories. He's appeared alongside Sylvester McCoy in 2 episodes, one of which is The Word Lord and is available for free, and bloody good it is too, and with Colin Baker in 1 episode and one reuniting him with Christopher Eccleston. And his most recent high-profile outing is with Eccleston and BBC children's show, but for adults too, Dodger. I've only seen 2 episodes with Reynolds in a minor recurring role of opportunist pawnbroker Hezekiah Stebbings. I enjoyed those well enough.
Excuse me, sir. I see you are a pawnbroker and a jeweller.
That I am. I dabble in high and low end trinkets, tiaras, and antiquities.
The lead, child actor Billy Jenkins, gives us an understated performance leading a capable ensemble including Lenny Rush, Alex Kingston, and Eccleston Fantastic as Fagin. But of course, have you spotted either Paul Reynolds or Colin Matthews in TV, film, and radio? And which were your favourites? Similarly, is there a show you think best carries the spirit of Press Gang? Talk to us all in the comments. I love comments. I don't get many. So comment now and you'll be truly special. Not like all them other losers. And if you watch more of my videos, say 4 or 5 hours, it's a wise investment opportunity. And make sure you're logged in and hitting like. That helps keep these excellent videos coming. Make sure the whole family watches from different rooms. Why not go further? Create a dozen accounts and subscribe from them all. And oh, right, forget that. Just subscribe to my Patreon. From $1 a month, you can get previews on 9 videos, a chapter from my novel in progress, and 8 years worth of comic books, poetry, and short stories. $1? It's ridiculous. I know I said let's do lunch, but this is so cheap as to be a free lunch. And you'll want to take the 2-for-1 deal too by seeing my brand new anthology, Coastlines After Dark, inspired by the wacky world of Baywatch Nights with a distinctly Garth Marenghi feel. It'll have you in hysterics. Thanks to all my patrons for making this happen, particularly Artemie K and Arsalan Haider Ali.